Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about flat earth theory, which is a version of the creation story that believes that the earth was created exactly as it is, that the dinosaurs, all of the geological changes that happened in the early days of Earth's formation are just part of God's creation, that they were all created during the 6 days described in the book of Genesis, and that the earth is the center of the universe. It's a literal interpretation of the Bible. And nowadays, people who consider themselves rational, intelligent people look down on flat earthers, and believing in a flat earth theory or even giving it a nod is considered evidence that a person is completely unhinged and we shouldn't take anything that they say seriously. So the first point that I want to make is that everything that we have ever believed has been wrong. Everything that we consider standard scientific knowledge and that we're supposed to just accept as truth has at some point been proven wrong in the long chain of scientific discoveries, even since before the scientific revolution. Galileo, Newton, Darwin, Einstein, all these people completely upended and disproved everything their predecessors believed to be verifiable fact. People thought for millennia that the earth was the center of the universe and that the sun and the stars revolved around the earth. Then we discovered that the earth revolves around the sun, and everything those people believed was shown to be false. The same thing happened when Newton developed his laws of physics. The same thing happened when we discovered that microorganisms cause disease. Einstein's theory of relativity came along and called all of Newton's laws into question. Even now, we're making discoveries that disprove everything we thought we knew about the world. And it's only a matter of time before those ideas become recognized as irrefutable, and everything that we believed in the past will be shown to be wrong. So any approach that we take to any scientific inquiry has to be done from that vantage point. Anyone who says this is what science has determined and therefore we must all accept it as irrefutable fact doesn't know what science is, because that's not what science is. Science is continuous discovery and continuously proving ourselves wrong. That's why we continue to make these discoveries, so that we can continue to learn and we can continue to discover the error of our ways. So if you truly believe in science, you need to be approaching it from the idea that what we now believe will eventually be proven to be wrong. It doesn't work for anyone to tell someone else this is science and everybody agrees on it and it's just fact, because science is the opposite of that. So when it comes to the flat earth theory, the first point I want to make, I want you to look at the view behind me. I'm going to step out of the way. Just look at this view and just admire the beauty looking across the water at the peninsula in the distance. Imagine that you're looking out the window at this, or looking at any beautiful scenery. It gives you a nice, peaceful feeling that you're out in nature. Now imagine that this scene was created by natural geological forces the upheaval of the earth through millions and millions of years. And now imagine that this scene was created by God, and that everything that you see in this view was put here in a matter of days, exactly the way it is now, and that it's never changed and it never will. So ask yourself a question. What changed when I said that it had been created by God in 6 days? What about the view changed? What about your opinion of it changed? And if you were to walk out into the scene right now, what about your experience would be different between the two creation stories? The fact is that nothing changed. However the earth was formed, however it was created, however we got to this point, doesn't make a lick of difference. Makes absolutely no difference at all. Our experience doesn't change at all regardless of what we think about how the earth was created or how we got here. If you doubt what I'm saying, if you ever wonder what reality is, just look out the window and you'll see what reality is. Just because someone said it on the internet doesn't make it true. Or just because you read it in a book doesn't make it true. This day, this environment, it doesn't change based on something that someone on the internet said. If someone on the internet told me that the earth took millions of years to cool, and there was all this continental upheaval, and there was a giant continent called Pangea that broke up into the continents that we know right now, and there's continental drift going on all the time, that doesn't affect this experience at all. It doesn't affect reality at all. And if you want to step out of the loop of what other people are telling you about what reality is, we could all be living in a Matrix-style simulation where time doesn't exist and everything was created exactly the way it is now, and fossils and carbon dating and everything were created to make us think that the earth is thousands or millions of years old, and we would never know the difference. We would never be able to tell the difference. And the fact is that our experience of life and the meaning of our lives doesn't depend on that at all. Regardless of how you think the earth was created, makes absolutely no difference to our lives. The reason that we're here is to engage with what's in front of us and to experience it and to have relationships with it and interact with it and to find some meaning in it. And how we got here is completely irrelevant. If we were in some sort of simulation that just created all of this out of nothing, maybe like 100 years ago or 200 years ago, it wouldn't change the meaning behind our lives. We would all be in exactly the same situations. We would all be facing exactly the same problems. We would all be struggling to overcome exactly the same challenges. Nothing would be different. Nothing is different if we believe a scientific explanation for how the world got here. Nothing is different if we believe a flat earth theory of how we got here. Nothing is different if we believe a matrix-style simulation explanation of how we got here. None of that matters. All that matters is how we engage with the reality that's in front of us, the people that are in front of us, the challenges that are in front of us. So it's just as easy to say that one theory is wrong. There's just as much evidence that one storyline or belief system is wrong as all of the others. None of them is superior. None of them is more or less true. And none of them is any more relevant than the others. I hope this helps somebody. I'll see you next week.